Hello level up, my name is Max and welcome back to my YouTube channel. About a week ago I uploaded a video trying to beat Pokemon Sapphire with the original team I used during my first playthrough, and it seems to have gone down pretty well and I had a lot of fun making it, so I thought we could have another go at a Pokemon challenge. So for this one I thought we could ramp up the difficulty a little bit by attempting a Pokemon Leaf Green water type lock challenge. For those unfamiliar, the rules of a type lock are as follows. You can only catch and use the first Pokemon in each game route that matches the type that you've chosen for the challenge, which for us is the water type. If a Pokemon faints, it is considered unusable and must be boxed as soon as possible and cannot be reused for the rest of the challenge. Finally, I'm increasing the difficulty slightly, which could go wrong, by not using items in battle and also playing a set battle style, meaning I can't switch Pokemon between wins. So why the water type? Well, it's probably my favourite type in game firstly, but to be more specific, it has a decent average base stat total, with water types on average having a well-rounded stat balance. Moreover, with 16 fully evolved water type Pokemon, it's a deep pool of Pokemon with a good type coverage. However, because we're using Pokemon Leaf Green for this challenge, Golduck and Cloyster will not be available for us as they are locked to Pokemon Fire Red. Moreover, because we can only choose one of the fossil Pokemon, we also have one less Pokemon to choose from. So I think that's all the admin out of the way for this challenge, so there's only one thing left to do and see how we got on. Shall we? So let's get this challenge started. We choose our character and name ourselves. I choose the name Aquaman for this run, as we'll be controlling exclusively the sea critters of the Kanto region. We then can begin our journey into the Pokemon world. We commence with the intro parts of the game, heading towards Route 1 before being accosted by Professor Oak and heading to his lab in Pallet Town. We are then posed with the ultimate question from our childhood: Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle? Let me know in the comments below, by the way, which starter you would choose for these games. I chose Bulbasaur in my first run, but I almost exclusively choose Squirtle now whenever doing reruns. Anyway, for this run we can only exclusively use water type Pokemon, so we choose Squirtle, name him Donatello, and win our very first rival battle against Blue. Due to his starter type advantage, these battles are going to be pretty hard down the line, so they'll definitely be worth keeping an eye on. With that, we properly begin our journey into the world. Oh wait, we've got to go pick up a parcel for Professor Oak in Viridian City and then give it back to him, gaining the Pokedex and the town map in the process. But then we can then start our Pokemon journey and become the ultimate water type trainer. After doing some basic grinding against Pidgey and Rattata, we can take part in our second and probably most forgotten rival battle at the west of Viridian City. Blue's Pokemon are extremely strong for this battle, but we're able to take them down pretty easily in order to get up to level 11. We can now progress the game through the Viridian Forest and towards our very first gym challenge. In the early stage of the game, I was trying very hard not to over level our Pokemon heading into gyms, so I placed a self-imposed level cap on Donatello of 14, the same as Brock's Onix. However, it is worth noting that I scrapped this during the run, as particularly for the early gyms, it's very hard to keep our Pokemon within range whilst completing the essential battles, especially considering we only have 2 Pokemon for the first 3 badges. However, I'm getting slightly ahead of myself. We make our way into Pewter City, defeat the youngster in the gym with ease, and then take on our first gym leader, the Rock-type trainer, Brock. We set up with Withdraw during our first turn to make us even more resistant to his physical rock-type attacks, before sweeping both his Geodude and his Onix with 1 water gun each in order to win and pick up the Boulder badge. As a bonus, we also get the TM for Rock Tomb. However, this is pretty useless for us, as we're unlikely to get any Pokemon who could even use this move, let alone use it to its full potential. With that, we can say bye-bye to Pewter City and make our way to our next gym challenge, not before getting the running shoes for one of Professor Oak's aides, which will speed up this challenge massively. We train on the route heading towards Mount Moon, during which Donatello evolves into a Wartortle. However, we are careful to leave some trainers, as again, I've decided to stick to the level cap of 21 for Misty's gym, and we have some ways to go before getting there. During this period, we can also head into the Pokemon Center to buy a Magikarp from one of the people in there. I didn't actually know about this before doing this challenge, which is pretty dummy of me, but I thought it would help in getting another water type before Misty's gym. Especially considering that otherwise we'd have to wait until the 3rd gym to get the old rod to catch a Magikarp, which would make this run almost impossible without over leveling, which is a sentence I'd never thought I was actually going to say. We make our way through Mount Moon, switch training our Magikarp in order to get it closer to evolving. During this we take on a scientist who has a nice collection of fossils that we get to choose from upon beating him. We of course choose the Helix fossil, which means we won't be able to get Kabutops during this run. With that minor plot point that I'm sure won't be important important later out of the way, we can then head towards the Cerulean City, gym, and our second challenge. I won't lie, Misty's battle stumped me. I did a couple of dummy runs on this and found it was almost impossible to beat her with just a war turtle, so it became apparent to me that we're gonna have to level up our Magikarp to give us some backup. Grinding for Magikarp took so long. It's in the lowest experience group and it doesn't get an attacking move until level 15, so we were forced to run down Splash PP and then use Struggle, meaning we had to heal after nearly every fight. I couldn't say how long this process took, but I would hazard a guess at close to 2 to 3 hours just training this pathetic fish. It is worth it though, as he does evolve into a mighty Gyarados who learns Bite and helps us in beating Misty's gym. Despite getting confused from Water Pulse, Donatello is able to take down her Staryu with Bite before Tiny the Gyarados comes in, tanks her Starmie's attacks and wins the battle for us using its new move Bite. With that we have the Cascade badge and the TM for Water Pulse, which we immediately teach to Gyarados as it doesn't learn another attacking water type move through level up until level 40, so having some stab damage early in the game will be very hard to come by. As far as I could work out, this was the only way we could beat Misty's gym in this challenge, aside from getting extremely lucky, having the perfect nature and probably perfect IV and EVs, which would take hours of resetting to get. Anyway, with that out of the way, we were able to take on Blue again, beating him with a little issue with our new team before taking on the Nugget Bridge and the trainers on Route 25 to claw our way to Bill's house. It was at this point that I realised that having a level cap for a challenge like this is almost impossible to adhere to. We have 3 levels difference between the aces of Gym 2 and Gym 3, with 2 rival battles, the Nugget Bridge, Route 25, Route 6 and the SS Sound to deal with in this period. Even avoiding the non-essential battles, this was extremely hard to accomplish staying in the level cap. We ended up abandoning this rule, hitting level 26 before the gym in Vermilion. Despite this issue, we are able to get the SS ticket from Bill and make our way to Vermilion City, avoiding a large amount of trainers on the way before heading aboard the SS Anne in order to do some plot stuff. Aboard the SS Anne we can get some important items to help us in our escapades. Firstly, the cherry berry from one of the bins in the kitchen, which will help with the gym, then the TM for Brick Break from one of the cabins, and then the HM for Cut once we beat our rival for the 4th time during this run without much issue. To get the HM for Cut, we need to head up to the captain's quarters and help him clear his seasickness. I'm glad that the irony of this wasn't lost upon me as a child. This moment would always make me chuckle in a weird Schadenfreude kind of way. Anyway, with the Cut HM we are now able to challenge the 3rd gym of Lieutenant Surge. Normally it takes me ages to be able to get to the switches in the bins for this gym, but due to some dumb luck or some kind of PTSD from what we saw on the SSN, we're able to get them relatively quickly before challenging this gym's leader, Lieutenant Surge. Much like Misty, this took a couple of dummy runs to figure out the process. I ended up teaching Donatello Dig and giving him the cherry berry from the SSN in order to help us. His Voltorb and Pikachu cause us no issues whatsoever, each going down to a single dig from Donatello. However, it is his Raichu, as you would expect, causing us the biggest issues. In every run I did of this, he would always use Double Team to increase evasiveness before trying to paralyze us with Thunder Wave and wearing us down with Shock Wave. However, after about 5 attempts, his Raichu chose not to use either of his support moves, allowing us to hit a Water Gun before absorbing a Shockwave and then hitting a single dig to win the battle and our 3rd badge. Much like Misty's battle, I doubt there was any practical way for us to win this battle without being pretty over leveled. With that we acquire the Thunder badge as well as the TM for Shockwave, which is of no use to us during this run, much like most of the TMs we'll get from the gyms, to be honest. With 3 badges we take the decision to divert from the gym challenge in order to progress the game enough so we can get ourselves some more Pokemon, as there is no way I can keep using just 2 Pokemon for this run. We obtain an Eevee from the giant house in Celadon before getting the tea from the old lady in the same building to aid in bribing some officials. I mean, better navigate the map, yes, that's exactly what I meant, better navigate the map. In the department store we're also able to get the 3 requisite Ward Stones in order to obtain the stone evolutions for this game, including the newest member of our team evolving Eevee into a Vaporeon. With our newest member we are able to head into the game corner, beating the inconspicuous guard before hitting the convenient button in order to access the game corner hideout of Team Rocket. The grunts are great training for our new Vaporeon and we have little issue in obtaining the lift key from one of the grunts before heading into the office of mob boss Giovanni. Our battle with him goes pretty easily, to be fair, with Gyarados and Donatello working through his mainly ground based team, giving us a huge advantage for our future battles against him. Our victory rewards us with the Sylph Scope, allowing us access to the top of the Pokemon Tower and the next part of the game for us to address. We head towards Lavender Town and into the namesake tower before being confronted by our rival. And of course, if you know the creepypastas behind this game, you know exactly why he's here. Either way, we challenge him to a battle in the graveyard, which is very normal. Dispatching his team again, honestly, I thought he would pose us more of an issue in this run, but I guess not. We work our way up the floors, leaving some trainers for later before encountering a ghost. Now I don't know about you, but I think I've seen enough BuzzFeed Unsolved to know how to deal with these ghosts. So we use our wasp type ghoul boys to defeat the Marowak, haunting the place, and progress our way to the summit of the tower. We can then easily defeat the Team Rocket grunts pestering Mr. Fuji before being rewarded with the Poké Flute for our services. We make our way down the silent bridge, awaken the Snorlax, and then head to the fishing guru's house. Of course, if you know anything about these games, you'll know that this grants us access to the Super Rod and another 6 or 7 encounters in order to help build our team. Without this, our run would be a lot harder than it ends up being, and this feels like a perfect time for a catching montage. Now bear with me for these encounters as we have a few to get through. Firstly, we head to Route 25 in order to catch a Poliwhirl, which goes as planned. We catch it and then immediately evolve it using one of our Water Stones and then teach it the Brick Break TM for instant stab damage. Next is the Silent Bridge. Here we have a high chance of finding Krabby, which we do, catching one in the process. Now we journey all the way back to our hometown of Pallet to fish in the waters south of the town. Here we can find and capture Staryu. We can now head up to Route 6 where we have a 5% chance of finding Slowpoke. After a short while we find one and catch it to add to our team. Next we head a little south to Vermilion City in order to catch Horsey. They are again about a 5% chance of encountering, and this takes quite a while, but we do eventually find one, catch it and add it to our team. Finally we head to Fuchsia City where we can catch a Goldeen, which we catch and add to our party. This won't likely end up on our final team, but it could be useful as a sacrifice or as a placeholder if needed. Also, whilst in Fuchsia City, we head through the Safari Zone in order to get the Gold Teeth and, more importantly, their Surf HM, a key to this run. Of course, we know how useful Surf is in Pokemon, but also having a stab 80 power move for all of our Pokemon will aid us no end in our push during the late game. I then get us grinding our team up for the upcoming gyms, however, we unfortunately suffer our first loss during this run. Whilst grinding a newly evolved Starmie, it takes too much of a beating and is poisoned by one of the bikers on the cycling road, falling during its fight and handing us our first loss of the run. Unfortunately, I didn't get this death on camera, but I can assure you it was as dramatic and as painful as I've painted it. We have to then deposit Starmie in the PC, never to see the light of day again. Rest in peace, friend. You'll be missed. Anyway, with training out of the way, we can then make our way to the 4th gym, making quick work of it. Erica's battle isn't really worth making note of. We dispatch her team being at least 5 levels higher than a Pokemon due to how much of the story we've had to complete to get to this point. With the Rainbow Badge in hand, we can now complete the Team Rocket portion of this game, working through the invaded Silphco building with little issue. We then obtain the card key and then work our way into an impromptu rival battle. I completely forgot about this battle and didn't heal heading into this, so it causes us some issues, but with some clever switching and some luck, we're able to beat Blue yet again before obtaining another member of our team in Lapras. As far as I can remember, this is the only chance you get to get one during the games, so I take advantage of it and add it to our team straight away for some much needed coverage from grass types. We can then make our way to the top of the tower, taking on Giovanni for the second time and actually struggling a bit with his team and mainly his Kangaskhan before picking up the win and completing the main arc of this game. We are then rewarded by this ludicrously rich man gaining a Master Ball, which is pretty useless during this run, so I'll probably just toss it in the bin or something. We also head into the game corner to spend some of our winnings from recent battles, picking up the TM for Ice Beam, which I'm pretty sure you can't get normally until the post game in these games. Anyway, we teach it to Lapras straight away, giving it an instant stab ice type move for the run. With our team looking much better, we can now resolve a large chunk of the remaining gym challenges left in this run. We can easily make our way through the trainers in Fuchsia City's gym, making light work of the poison type Pokemon there and making our way to the leader, Koga. Koga's team stands very little chance against our Slowbro sweeping through his first 3 Pokemon, 2 Coffins and a Mug before we take on his ace, a Weezing. Off the bat he goes for Toxic, however expecting this we have our Slowbro use its Pecha Berry it's been holding during this battle in order to heal itself, then despite the 3 level deficit we can take it out with a single Psychic attack for the win. Honestly, I had to go into far too much detail for this battle because we had this wrapped up within a couple of minutes due to Slowbro and its powerful psychic attacks. With that win we gained the Soul badge and the TM for Toxic, which is a great move for this stage of the game and will be very useful in a variety of strategies. And almost instantly we can make our way to the next gym, challenging the Saffron City gym. I know this isn't intended for the order of the games, however with both gyms 5 and 6 having aces at level 43, it didn't really seem to matter to me at the time. We quickly make our way through the trainers in the gym to take on their leader Sabrina, the Teenage Witch. Without any bug, dark or ghost type Pokemon, our best strategy for this battle is to go in with Brute Force, tanking her Kadabra and her Mr. Mime with our Gyarados and then using super effective Psychic from Slowbro to take out her Venomoth. We can then easily take down her ace Alakazam with Slowbro, who is turning into the MVP of this run already, to beat Sabrina and gain our 6th gym badge. With this win we are rewarded with the Marsh badge and the TM for Carmine, which is a great setup move, increasing both special stats, and we immediately teach it to Slowbro for the Elite Four. Before taking on the 7th gym we have the opportunity to tie off some loose ends from this challenge. In the water south of Pallet Town we can catch a Tentacle, and in the Seafoam Islands we can flex by using our Master Ball in order to catch a Seal. Finally we can head to the lab on Cinnabar Island in order to restore our fossil and gain an Omanyte to add to the team. With this we have caught every available water type in a single version of Pokemon Leaf Green, thus completing a small portion of this challenge. With this renewed vigour in hand we quickly complete the side quest of retrieving the gym key from the Cinnabar mansion, getting the TM for Blizzard in the process, which we teach immediately to Donatello. We can then take on the penultimate challenge for this region, Cinnabar's Fire type gym. Upon completing the gym trainers we can square off with its leader Blaine. Much like the past few gyms we are at a stage of the game where we are posed at very little issue from the gym leaders. We sweep through his first 3 Pokemon, Growlithe, Ponyta and Rapidash, using our Vaporeon before taking on his ace Arcanine. Of course you know exactly how this is going to go. Despite using both his 4 restores and trying to stall us out, Arcanine eventually goes down from Surf from Vaporeon, who takes hardly a scratch throughout the entirety of this gym. With our win we gain the Volcano badge and the TM for Fire Blast, which despite being an amazing move at this stage of the game is absolutely useless to us. There is now nothing else to do in the game other than take on the final gym in Viridian City. We spend some time training using the VS Seeker and head in looking to obtain the 8th badge of our journey and access the Pokemon League. The trainers in this gym mainly use ground type Pokemon, therefore we have very little issue taking them out with a combination of Donatello and Vaporeon before taking on the final gym leader, Giovanni. I decide to lead with Poliwrath. Its fighting type gives us a second typing that can deal damage to these Pokemon, which are mainly ground types, with other pretty easy to take on secondary typings. And in fact Poliwrath ends up sweeping his entire team, taking out Rhyhorn and Dugtrio with 1 hit each before being stalled out slightly by his Nidoqueen. Despite using both his healing items we can take it down, as well as his final 2 Pokemon Nidoking and another Rhyhorn, to win the battle and our final badge. This win grants us the Earth badge as well as the TM for Earthquake, which I massively regret not teaching to one of our Pokemon due to its 100 base power and usefulness against members of the Elite Four. As you may well know, this win grants us entry to the Pokemon League. We train our Pokemon up into the mid-level 50s in order to handle the pressure from the trainers in Victory Road before taking on the final rival battle against Blue. I forget just how underleveled his team is compared to us at this stage, so we have very little issues sweeping his team aside, giving us some great strategy ideas as well for a potential rematch down the line. We do some training through Victory Road and get our team stronger for the Elite Four. Poliwrath, Vaporeon, Gyarados and Slowbro to level 55, Lapras to level 56 and Donatello to around level 60, the same as the Ace for the final member of the Elite Four. Our journey starts with Lorelei and her Ice type Pokemon. Dewgong goes down to a couple of brick breaks from Poliwrath before we struggle a little against a Slowbro due to its Yawn. However, Vaporeon can eventually take it down. Next in is Cloyster, who goes down to Poliwrath's fighting type attacks. We struggle against that Jinx slightly again, mainly due to its lovely Kiss and Attract, which slow us down massively. However, a combination of Poliwrath and Vaporeon can eventually take it and her Lapras down to give us our first win in the Elite Four. Our next challenge is Bruno, who is easily the quickest fight during this challenge. Poliwrath is able to take out both of his Onix and his Hitmonchan fairly easily before Slowbro comes in to do the rest, beating both Machamp and Hitmonlee using its Psychic attack. Next up is Agatha, who causes arguably the most problems during this Elite Four run. She starts with her first Gengar, who we are able to take out fairly easily using Donatello, and then do the same for her Golbat. Arbok is next, and despite massive damage from Sludge Bomb, we can take it out using Slowbro. Now we have to deal with her second Gengar, which always uses the sleep tactic, pretty much to my knowledge. My slightly risky tactic is to switch between Pokemon until it uses a Sludge Bomb and poisons us, which eventually happens with Gyarados, meaning we now can't be put to sleep. Gyarados can now take it out easily due to it having already sustained damage earlier in the battle. Her Haunter can then be taken down with ease to give us the win against Agatha. This poison strategy may have been the best bet for taking on her Gengar and this battle in general. It may have been risky, but with her getting a lot of luck with her Hypnosis and then using Nightmare, it really seemed like our only option at the time. The final member of the Elite Four is Lance and his Dragons. A combination of Slowbro, Poliwrath, Lapras and Vaporeon eventually take out his Gyarados, which proved to be a lot harder than I had anticipated. Donatello can then take out both his Dragonair using Blizzard before we head into the Clash of the Titans, Donatello taking on his ace, Dragonite. We go for Blizzard turn 1, but we miss for the first time, and then he uses Outrage, which takes out Donatello in a single hit thanks to a lucky crit, handing us our second death of the run all the way at the end of the Elite Four. Lapras can then come in to pick up the pieces to avenge Donatello before Gyarados wraps this battle up against his Aerodactyl. That death hurt a lot. Losing our starter and strongest Pokemon by a mile at this stage of the run could cripple us, and of course we lose the first Pokemon we had tamed in this challenge, which really hurts on an emotional level. However, there isn't any time for us to mourn as we have a league title to win and just one battle left to do it in, taking on the champion and our rival, Baloo. Despite using one of his healing items early, we can take out his Pidgeot using Lapras before Poliwrath does the same to his Rhydon. However, his Alakazam causes us huge problems, outspeeding and doing massive damage to a huge section of our party before switching into his ace Venusaur. We almost take it out with Slowbro, however it lives on a slither of HP before taking out Slowbro using Solar Beam for the third death of this run, and Slowbro was going to be crucial for our run-in during this battle. Lapras can then take out the ace before almost taking out that Alakazam before then two falling just short of the win. All seems lost with only 3 Pokemon left and all 3 having taken massive damage. Vaporeon goes down next. It didn't stand a chance against such a powerful Pokemon. At this point I feel like I'm sending my Pokemon out like lambs to the slaughter. However, for some reason Blue froze massively using Future Sight instead of taking out our Poliwrath, allowing our Battletoad to take out his 4th Pokemon. Could this comeback be on? Unfortunately not. His next Pokemon is a Gyarados, and as we saw in the last battle, this seems to be our Achilles heel in this run as it easily dispatches a Poliwrath and our own Gyarados in order to end our chances of a league title. Unfortunately, this challenge ends in defeat. We were unsuccessful in our challenge and fell at the final hurdle. With all that being said, let's see how we do in this challenge then, shall we? Well, just like that, we lose our first Pokemon challenge on the channel, falling with just 2 Pokemon left to beat in the final battle. I would say the main downfall of this was losing our starter too early and not having the levels nor the moveset in the rest of our team in order to deal with these extremely strong Pokemon. I would say we should have had our Pokemon up to at least level 60 to stand a chance in this one, and I should have used a more competitive and well covered moveset to try fend off his strongest Pokemon, and even that wasn't a certainty. That being said, I had a lot of fun in this challenge using Pokemon in Poliwrath, Slowbro and Lapras that I wouldn't normally consider using during a Gen 1 playthrough. It is definitely worthy of considering next time I play these games because this team had a great balance to it despite the single typing. I would highly suggest giving this challenge a go yourself. If you do, be sure to let me know down in the comments below or on Twitter at MaxDJGoodwin how you got on with this restricted pool of Pokemon. However, in order to answer the question to this challenge, can I beat Pokemon Leaf Green using just water types? Unfortunately, the answer is no. maybe next time though. If you have any suggestions for future challenges down the line, whether that be in Pokemon Leaf Green or in any other games from the franchise, be sure to let me know in the comments down below or on social media, and I'll try to get back to you for the future. For the next one, I feel like moving to the next generation of games, maybe to the Sinnoh games, or maybe even the Gen 2 remakes. Let me know what you think though. With all that said, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next challenge. I will catch you later.